If you look at the scale of the challenges that we're facing in the world at the moment with regard to climate change, pollution, environmental degradation, and if we also consider how important companies are with regard to their involvement in the economy, responsible for 70% of employment worldwide, 60% of global GDP, it's absolutely essential that we work together, or that companies take their responsibility and help us move the whole world towards a more sustainable solution. Business as usual is very much short-term, profit-oriented, driven by making money for shareholders. What I see as a very positive development in the last few years is a wave of thinking around how we can create a shared value together, companies still generating economic returns for their shareholders, but at the same time also delivering benefits for society at the same time. It's really partly a change of mindset, but it's especially a change of practice. So it goes from seeing sustainability as a sort of publicity or public relations activity into something which sits in the core of the business model. The difference between corporate responsibility and creating shared value is really a difference of thinking and of doing. So it's a new way of companies taking their responsibility, where instead of where they actually look for key things for their business which also deliver benefits for a wider societal aim. An example of this would be, for example, the way that Coca-Cola works around water issues. They absolutely depend on water. No water, no Coca-Cola. In Costa Rica, they worked with a number of other businesses in the city area to actually create an alliance that would protect working with the local communities who actually manage the forest areas upstream, where actually all the water comes from. So they actually, it's a business interest, but actually they deliver a societal benefit of actually conserving a water resource for actually all of the downstream users, including all of the inhabitants of the city. Companies can create shared value working on their own. At the same time, what I have seen in practice is things move faster and deliver bigger impacts when either working hand in hand in a sort of private relationship with NGOs, and that's with civil society, and those are some of the things which WWF has done. But also increasingly now we see public-private partnerships with governments and companies coming together to try to deliver bigger impacts. A corporation which continues basically with very short-term objectives, I think can be successful in the next months and years. However, the research which I have seen over the last 10-15 years shows that companies that put sustainability issues into their core business processes actually are more profitable over the 5 to 10 to 15 year timescale. So it's certainly the evidence from science shows this, and I think also it's absolutely what we need in terms of moving from a situation where we're over asking, or we're asking too much of natural resources, to a situation where we come back into balance and we can all move together towards a more sustainable way of life.